is recording. Yeah, there we go. Awesome. And then I'm going to bring up, I'm going to share my screen here, and I guess I'm just going to keep admitting people as that little thing pops up. Slideshow, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to share my other screen. So we can just kind of go over how tonight is going to go. So welcome everybody to our kickoff. We had a very hard time choosing the champions because we had so many incredible applications. I think in total we had almost 200 across the country. And I think the final group of champions is about 32. So it was very, very hard to choose. Just to let you know how we chose, we kind of went across the country and we wanted examples of people who are really helping grow rugby in Canada. And so, and this could be, you could be an athlete, you could be a coach, you could be a community builder. So there's people doing all kinds of things who are champions. And actually we have some photographers as well, because I think that's a super cool way to be supporting rugby by taking pictures of teams that they can share on social media. So those were kind of the criteria, and it was pretty hard for us. We had about a 2-hour meeting where everybody had already, let Maxine in there, everybody had already kind of preliminary gone through their list, and then we sort of chatted through. And so that's how we came down to you guys. Just so everybody knows, I think everything so far until the meeting invite has been a BCC. So I think this is the first time everybody's meeting each other. And so yeah, we're gonna basically, the whole point of tonight is we're gonna go over a couple things about our team, and then we're gonna have everybody introduce themselves. Oh, here comes Lori. Hi, Lori, welcome. We were gonna have everybody introduce themselves. So if you wanna just think about, if you were gonna, give 60 seconds, here comes Graham, just to sort of describe, who you are, maybe what club you play for, what club you're connected to, and then what you're doing in rugby in Canada. And then, yeah, and we'll just kind of work through Liz. And as you'll see, the order will go, and we've made you guys all like player cards. And so those will come up. And as we work across the provinces, we'll go from the East Coast to the West Coast. We usually do everything that way just because it's like our team is also across the country. So I'm going to get started here with, this is just kind of an agenda of what we're going to do tonight. We're going to have just a land acknowledgement after this. We're going to talk a little bit about the history of Gilbert in Canada. I'm going to introduce you, and each of the people on the Canadian Gilbert team is just going to quickly say hello. We're going to go a little bit over sort of what we think it means to be a champion, and also just kind of in terms of rugby and not just much the Gilbert brand, but Gilbert is so connected to rugby because it was the original rugby ball, but just sort of the things that are sort of the ethos of rugby. And then all the champions are going to go around, introduce yourselves. And then I'm just going to close off by going over a little bit about like what's happening next. So like when your kit's coming, what we're going to do in the coming year, how we can support you. So everyone kind of has a better sense, because I know some people have been like, well, what do I need to do? And so we're just going to go over that at the end. So I'm just going to start off reading the land acknowledgement. As we gather tonight, we recognize that for thousands of years, this territory has been a sacred gathering place for many peoples of Turtle Island. We respectfully acknowledge that we are on the traditional territory of several Indigenous nations. And tonight I'm speaking to you from Toronto, so I would like to pay special acknowledgement to the Mississaugas of the Credit. And that is something I would say here, we do feel very strongly at Gilbert Canada that we want to be supportive of reconciliation in Canada. And that's also a personal sort of thing for me as well. So yeah, I think rugby is an amazing place to do that. So the history of Gilbert in Canada. I see a big smile on Kim's face. I found some vintage pictures. So just to give you a little like understanding of how we came to be where we are, this good looking chap in the middle of the Centaurs picture, who actually probably, Nick, you might recognize these photos, is Monty Heald. And this old guy over here, they're both in stripes, is my dad, Lexi Tynan. So they both met at Centaurs when I was a kid. We moved to Canada when I was 7. And how Gilbert started was the two of them just wanted to get rugby product in Canada. And this is back in the 80s. It was pretty hard to get your hands on product. So Monty was from England and my dad is Irish. And so they just started bringing in rugby products. And in the beginning, they brought in many different brands, but over time, it's become only Gilbert that we sell in Canada. And so, yeah, so here we are almost, it's about 30 years later. Monty has passed on, but he's a guy that I knew my entire life and was a good friend of my dad's. And we're pretty proud to be connected to him because he really is sort of like what I would consider the grandfather of rugby in Canada. And for the women here, if you've heard about the Monty Heald Women's Fund, Monty was a big believer, like since I was a kid, that women shouldn't have to pay to play internationally. It used to be a case where the men's teams were often their travel was covered, but the women's teams weren't. And so Monty and other people who were big supporters of women's rugby in Canada started this fund. And when he passed away, they actually named it in his honor. But I've put a link, I'm going to share this slide deck with you guys afterwards. And I put a link in the bottom. So if you don't know about the Monty Heald Women's Fund, it might be something if you're interested in reading about it, you can click to the link to the Canadian Rugby Foundation and you can read a little bit about it. All right, so this is the team in Canada. Well, actually, I'm just going to let each person go. So if we go left to right, first is me. And that picture is of Kim and I drinking beers at Twickenham watching the Barbarians play. I will say I grew up at a rugby pitch. I have never actually played rugby. I got onto a swim team when I was about 9, and it was kind of my entire life. And then it turned into actually a professional triathlon career. So as an adult, I still am a pretty serious road cyclist and a runner. But I've been around rugby my whole life and I've never played. And so Kim and I are the super fans. I will tell you, well, Kim also played rugby. Before she introduces herself, I will tell you she is probably the most fun person on the planet to watch a rugby match with because she basically like levitates in the seat. She's cheering so loud. So I'll pass it over to Kim, who is sort of I put the brains of the operation because I couldn't even put into words what Kim actually does, but Kim basically runs the show. If you want to just maybe say hi, Kim, and say a little bit about yourself.
Hi, everybody. I've been working at the office probably 15 plus years. Worked with Lee's dad, Lexi, and Monty when they were the owners. Best place ever to work. And then Lee came on board, still even better. Working with another woman, it's fabulous. Her whole reason and being is to help, to support, be there. And she's like another amazing person to work for. I am the person behind the phone when you call. If you're needing anything, if you have any information you're looking for in regards to Gilbert products, being that I've been there for so long, I am not a sports person. I have never played a sport, but like Lee said, as you all know, being that you play, it has some type of draw, and yeah, you just can't control yourself.
Turns Kim into a different person. So maybe Robin, can you go next? The fisherman.
Thanks, Lee. First of all, congratulations to all the ambassadors. I'm really thrilled to see this program formalize in year 3. Born and raised on Vancouver Island, playing all Canadian sports really, and fell into rugby in my teens, hung up my skates, and I've basically been packing my suitcases for 20 years and back on the road on Sunday with the game. It's given me everything that I have and everything wonderful that I have. And just being born and raised in a small town on Vancouver Island of, family of leaders and community people. It's just kind of growing up, doing stuff, picking up chairs, cleaning up garbage and making sure balls have air in them. And to be in a place where I can be part of a Canadian company attached to the world's best ball, and just so much history involved with Gilbert rugby in general, has been a wonderful experience. They came to me because I was involved in a number of programs across the game. And when I moved back to the West Coast from the Canadian Prairies, and then, it's just grown the last 3 years. And for me, it ticks all the boxes again. When I first started, it was really just Lee and Kim and me, and then brought Timmy on, and now we've just welcomed Brian and Shauna to the family. And but most importantly, like our ambassadors that were involved last year, just really opened a million doors and connecting grassroots kids to international players, to builders, to referees, to people that tell the stories and capture the images. I think as a community, Canadian sport, North American sport is built on volunteers and people that are passionate about the game. And I think as a rugby community with technology, we can bring it closer together. So, if you ever need anything as far as for those aspiring athletes, reach out, or coaches, or need connections, that we're really a hub, because we talk to different people involved in the game every single day on the phone or via email. Kim downplays herself as always, but she's likely knows more about rugby than all of us put together.
And everybody, she knows
everybody. Yeah, and she's a human Google, we call her. And Lee is one of the most amazing women and entrepreneurs in Canada. And so if you ever want to pick her brain, by all means, I would lean on her. So thank you for having me tonight, Lee, and congratulations to you all.
And something else, just to give Robin a little props, there'll be something coming later this year that's pretty cool. If you don't know Robin, you should look him up and start following on Instagram, because there's actually like 4 or 5 of him. But one of the things that is happening later this year, which we'll share more information with you guys, but he's actually worked with the parent company in England to come up with some innovation. So there's going to be a product coming out that's going to be sold through Gilbert distributors across the world, that players all over the world, kickers all over the world, are going to use to train with, that Robin has created. So it kind of gives you an example of like the exciting things that happen because we're connected to like the parent company, right? And they're really, open to, even though in Canada we're a really small rugby nation relative to a lot of the other places in the world. I think they see what we're doing here nobody else does a champions program. And so it's pretty exciting because even though we're little, we get to be an example to other places about how to do rugby. And Robin's this project is kind of a cool example of that. All right, I'm going to move on to Tim. Timmy, where are you?
Oh, hello. Hi, everybody. I'm Tim. I'm the Atlanta, Canada. I was multi-sport athlete, like many of you. Found rugby in high school and stuck with that. Got to go play for Howlers. That's where Robin and I initially played, which was select familiar with. And yeah, COVID hit like 2 years ago. Things got paused, and I got the call from Gilbert to see if I want to get involved. Being a rugby player, I had been removed because of concussion 2-3 years before. This was a great opportunity to get back involved with the community of rugby. It's been great. So as Lee and as Kim have all, it's a great resource for mentorship. It's a great resource for ideas. It's a great resource for those with entrepreneurial spirits, because the team we've got is just chock full of information and advice. And we go on and on really about with Gilbert. I'll be super stoked to be part of the team now as well, and we're all stoked to have you guys part of it. Congratulations.
Thanks, Tim. I think your audio was cutting out a little bit, but Tim was saying, so he's from Atlantic Canada, and he played sort of provincial level before he had a concussion and wasn't able to play anymore. So now he's just hanging out at rugby pitches, representing Gilbert, staying connected, and also coaching. Okay, next up, Shauna.
After rugby weekend.
Awesome, thanks, Tim. Okay, Shauna, you go ahead.
Awesome. Hi, guys. Congratulations on becoming champions. Such an amazing feeling, I could imagine. I just joined Gilbert actually last month. March 1st was my first day. So really excited to be a new person on the team, just like Brian. I think we're newbies in this together. I actually have a really big rugby background here in Ontario, at least a couple years ago, until I completely tore my ACL and flipped my meniscus, and it kind of put me out of commission. So I haven't really been in the rugby scene too much over the past few years. And then I just happened to see the Gilbert job posting on Indeed while I was at my other job, and just was like, you know what, I think this is the perfect fit. I'm going to go for it. I applied and had the position. It went well. I was waiting to hear back from Lee and Kim to see if I got it. Actually ended up seeing the Ontario sales rep position and told myself, if I don't get the office job, I'm going to apply for that. They can't get rid of me that easy. Thankfully, they liked me enough and wanted me for the office. So I'm Kim's second hand pretty much, and I'm just learning the ropes and everything from Kim, and it's just been a great experience. Lee and Kim and just honestly everybody on the Gilbert Rugby Canada team has been phenomenal. I know I've only been here for a month, but I definitely have to say a best group of people I've worked with. Not to toot your horn, Lee, best boss I've worked for. So yeah, just you guys are in great hands, and I know you guys are awesome. Absolutely gonna love being champions and supporting us. So thank you and congrats.
Thanks, Shauna. Yeah, when Kim and I were looking for someone to help in the office, we were just looking for a super organized person. Because as you all know in life, that is like what makes life easier. When you have people who are like better at being organized than you are. And Kim is like the master of being organized. And now we found Shauna, and then it turned out Shauna was also a rugby person. So we were like, we think this is kismet. We're just going to go for it. And next up, so we have Brian, and Brian actually hasn't even been introduced formally yet because he's literally just kind of onboarding, but Brian Spears, who's going to go next, is our brand new Ontario sales rep. So we'll be announcing that sometime in the coming weeks, but I really wanted him to join the call as well because there's a bunch of champions in Ontario. So you'll see Brian out this coming season. Brian, if you want to just maybe give yourself a bit of an introduction.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks. I similar story there to Shauna. I saw the job posting and I'm working at another company and I thought I need to get back into rugby. I started playing rugby in high school. I went to Dumbarton for anybody local, played for Ajax Wanderers and then eventually University of Guelph. But COVID took away my last season and I thought that I hung up the boots for good. And I saw the posting and I figured this is the best way for me to get back involved. And actually since our meeting today, one of my teammates at Ajax has sent me a message and I've confirmed that I'm playing this summer. So you'll see me out there on the pitches and feel free to always say hi. I'll make sure that I introduce myself to all of you and congratulations on becoming champions.
Thanks, Brian. All right, so I'm like, what's next? Hit the shift key on the presentation. Here we go. Okay, so I just wanted to kind of go over, this is like, I mean, I feel like these things, part of why we chose all of you is because you totally get this, but I just think it goes, I just always want to say that as the Canadian distributors of Gilbert, we take it really seriously that everybody sort of holds themselves to like the rugby code of conduct, right? So, and I know this is something that, you know, these are like hopefully becoming more common things that should be assumptions now, but just wanted to kind of go over. So as the brand, like, you know, the global brand, these are sort of just the main pillars of the global brand for Gilbert, which is this idea of trust, innovation, and performance in terms of, you know, having the best products, always trying to be innovative, and really just support the rugby community. And I can tell you, like, Kim and I have met multiple times in person, the parent company, because every sort of few years we go over for meetings, and they're a really cool group of people. It's also similarly to the business in Canada. It's kind of like a family-owned business. The things they're big as a company, I'd say in the UK, they're big on sustainability, which is something I don't think they shout out enough, but they put a lot of thought into the product design, especially the new rugby boots being designed so that there's less waste. They also put a lot of thought into their packaging. I'm hoping this year we can work with them to share a little bit more about that, because that's a personal like value of mine as well, and our business in Canada. So they don't have a ton of information on it, but that is something I think is cool. And as we have more to share with you, we will. So then the other piece I wanted to share was just the World Rugby values. And this is just something I think about like in general in life, right? It's like everybody has a social, like, well, not everybody, a lot of people have social media, they're posting. I think if you're a champion, I think you have to think about it like people really are looking up to you. Like whether you're a female player or a male player or like whatever, who, you know, if you're a coach, like the kids younger than you are looking up to you. And it's just to think about, you know, what you're putting out into the universe in terms of positive energy, respectful energy. And so, you know, that's something I just always want to say is like, it's obviously like, there's no contract here. This is an athlete ambassador program, but I think it's just important to mention that, you know, it's like, you want to be supportive of everybody, and, you just never know. I mean, rugby really, I think, makes people's lives so much better. And I think we all want to be people that walk around sharing that. And so, you know, the different people we've chosen this year as champions, it's because they're bringing rugby to, you know, people in the neurodiverse community, in the BIPOC community, in the Indigenous community, for kids who maybe come from, you know, backgrounds where rugby is going to make your life a lot better through some social mobility, right? So I think just for everybody here, I just want to sort of set the tone with that's something I think is pretty, you know, important to us, that this is really about more than like being a brand ambassador. This is just about like us growing and supporting rugby in Canada. And as a part of that, you know, we really want everybody just to like embody the champion mentality, which is being respectful and inclusive and all the rest of it. All right, so this is our beautiful map that looks simple, but it took a long time to figure out because it's a lot of Google forms going through and figuring out who sent a picture and who didn't send a picture. And so we're going to go through from the East Coast to the West Coast, and we'll just go through everybody's pictures. There are some people who sent pictures a little bit later today, and we didn't get a chance to make their player cards yet. And then there's a couple people who I know, like, for example, I think if Jenny's here and she's a photographer, she's still working and get a picture of herself because she submitted pictures she took of other people. So, but if we'll just go through and everybody can just take maybe a minute or two to kind of explain maybe where they're from, the clubs they're connected to. And we have all level of players, right? So we have some high performance players and we have some players who are on their way to being high performance. But don't feel like if you're not, you know, like a provincial or a national level player, that's totally fine, right? Maybe you were chosen because you're bringing, you know, a rugby program to a new community, or so just share with everybody what you're doing, right? Because the whole point is maybe someone else on the call tonight is doing something similar or interested, right? Okay, so we are going to start off with Newfoundland. I think Donald, you're here. I know Stacy's not able to make it, but Donald, do you want to maybe start off and introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Donald Umlava. I'm originally from Zimbabwe, Southern Africa. At 20 years old, my family moved to the UK, and that's where I played most of my rugby. I played for Westcliff Rugby Club, which is currently a National 2 side. I have a 19-year-old son, and he started playing rugby when he was 4. So I coached him since he was 4 years old, and I'm a level 2 IRB coach. I'm currently in Newfoundland because my wife is from here, and we run touch rugby because of the weather, where we only got 2-month summers. We have to play indoors, so for the safety aspect, we only play touch rugby. The main target area for here is Corner Brook is a satellite city where you get a lot of players from St. John's or the rest of Canada that are coming through, or we have a lot of health professionals from Africa, from South Africa, and they come and join us. So our target audience is the university students that don't have an opportunity to be in St. John's, and they come and play touch with us. We got the older players. We look at approaching the primary schools and the only high school that we have out here. So that's me in a nutshell.
Basically, we live in Donald's neck of the woods. He's going to try and make sure that you play touch rugby.
Yes. And we have a couple of media. If you check our Instagram or Facebook, we had Corner Brook Touch Rugby, and post basically videos every week, and to try and keep the interest up. So we try to be hot on that.
And I think we'll get it organized too, Donald, that we're going to share everybody's social media so everyone can see. I mean, I think a lot of people you can find by looking for their name, but if they have, some people are connected like you to like a club name. So we'll share those
Yeah.
with everybody as well. Awesome. Thank you. So Stacy, I think, is not able to make it tonight unless Stacy, you are here, but I'm pretty sure she said she has to miss. So next we're going to Nova Scotia. We will start with Miles.
Hey everyone. Hey, so of course, as you see, my name is Miles Knight. I'm based out of Halifax, Nova Scotia. I do want to make a little change. Now my old club, I did put in the applications to Dartmouth Pig Dogs RFC. I'm actually back with my old club, Halifax Rugby Football Club, to play Division 1. So I'll just give you a little bit of a background of me. I started playing rugby in 2009 when I was in my first year in high school. Fell in love with the sport right away. And after high school, I decided to play upper provincial rugby for Nova Scotia. Actually, Tim, we played together at nationals in 2011. And before that, I was actually selected as part of the first under 19 Atlantic Rock team when they did the under 19 Canadian Rugby Championship the prior week before the U18 Rugby Canada Nationals that August. And so I'll just come out and say I am someone on the autism spectrum. So that's why I'm a little bit anxious right now with talking. So patient with me. I actually started playing rugby again a few years ago, just because I just taken like a bit of a break and played Australian rules football and kind of start getting that love back into it. And one of my goals is to play provincial rugby again and see where I can go with that. Little quick story. So when I played lacrosse back when I was a junior, when I was 13, 14 years old, I had a lacrosse coach tell me I couldn't play goalie because he was worried because I was on the spectrum and I was going to freak out. So obviously that took me away from sports for a long, long period of time. And then when I got into rugby and maybe become more motivated and really showing, that, people who are neurodiverse can play sports, doesn't matter what level. And yeah, that's all I have to say about myself.
Well, we're super excited to have you, Miles. Thank you. You did a great job.
Well, thank you.
And we're excited for you to meet Griffin as well. And I just in transfer, I have a daughter with ADHD, and so we're big believers in supporting neurodiversity in rugby because I think it's a really great place to be sharing your story. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Okay, Megan. Is Megan here? Yeah, Megan's here.
Hi everyone, my name is Megan Dunn. I'm 17 and my current rugby life is I'm defensive captain for my high school team. I played Nova Scotia Celtics. Well, I'm from Halifax, Nova Scotia, so I played Nova Scotia Celtics last summer, and I'm currently with HRFC Football Rugby Club. And I'm also recruited to play with St. Mary's women's varsity team next year. So that's pretty exciting. But my goal for this year and taking this opportunity is to really open the doors that rugby, of the big house that rugby is, to people of the LGBTQ plus community. 2 years ago when I first started, I was really intimidated because there were all these girls. I was in grade 10. I was still trying to figure out who I was. But I walked into the gym the first practice, and the level of diversity between race, gender, sexuality, all that stuff, it was just whoa, I wasn't expecting it. So I really want to include that into my clubs, my teams, all of that. And I would just want to allow that freedom and welcoming factor into all the teams that I have the opportunity to play with. And I hope that this can help you with that.
That's amazing. Thanks, Megan. We're super
Thank
excited
you.
to have you. I feel like maybe Chantel, is Chantel here? I think maybe Chantel said she maybe wasn't able to come. So I think we're gonna move on. So Jenny, this is not Jenny in this picture. This is a picture Jenny submitted because Jenny's a photographer. But are you here tonight, Jenny? I think maybe Jenny is not. Laura, are you here? No? Okay.
Yes, I am. Sorry,
You
I
are?
just gotta find
Okay.
the buttons.
Amazing. Hi.
New laptop. So
Welcome.
yeah, I'm also a photographer. That's why I didn't send in any rugby related photos. As a matter of fact, I was going through my Facebook page and I apparently don't have many photos of myself at all doing anything. Yeah, so I am associated with the Truro Saints Rugby Club. I'm on their board of directors. I do all of their social media posts. Aside from also being their photographer and social media director, I'm also their first aid attendant. So when there's stuff happening on the pitch, it's really awkward to just like randomly throw off a $2,000 camera to someone and say, please don't drop this. But yeah, so I help them. I started because my cousin has been playing with the Truro Saints for years. I played rugby in high school. I stopped playing after high school, kind of started hanging out at the Truro Club, and just kind of got absorbed into it, went and bought the camera, started doing that for them. I specifically try and get, I find because the guys have a lot of coverage anyways, I try and focus more on the women's side of things and the youth, because I find they don't usually get as much appreciation as they should. Everyone comes to watch the guys and then disperse when it comes to the women. So yeah, that's pretty much what I do.
Awesome.
I have
Thank you, Laura.
Jack of all trades, master of none.
Well, Laura, so I have another business that is a photography business. And yeah, I also know what it's like to I thought it was actually funny that you and Jenny both don't have pictures because you're too busy taking the pictures. But well, you'll see later, there's a couple of people who don't have like action shots. They're more just portraits. And I'm sure like someone could maybe help you take like an iPhone photo or something, but we would love to get a picture.
Yeah, I think I did send in one.
Did it come later today?
Yeah,
Okay.
the only reason why I sent it in was I had on the Rugby Canada hat, so it at least showed. But I think the backdrop is like a lake or something like that.
Oh,
I think I was on a canoe or something.
Oh, sounds great. Sounds awesome. Okay, cool. Thanks, Laura. We're going to go on now to, I'm going to click on here, to PEI, to Brianna and Brooke. Brianna, you want to go first? So you just have to turn your volume on and your camera back on. Oh, did we lose her? You just have to unmute yourself. I can here. Let me see here. Maybe I can unmute you. Can you figure out how to do it? Maybe, Brooke, are you here? Do you want to go first, Brooke? Maybe we can get your mic working.
Yeah, sure.
As well, Brianna.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, awesome. Hi, Brooke.
Sure. Hi. Nice to meet all of you. So I'm just do a little bit of an intro. I'm 18 years old. I just started playing rugby last year because with COVID, everything was kind of shut down for a while. So I wasn't able to start until grade 11 of high school. So I'm a flank in high school. I was captain of the sevens team, and then I also played on the AAA 15s team. And then I'm also part of the PEI rugby union, so like the provincial team. One of my biggest goals for this season with bringing rugby to the community was trying to kind of get it out there to the younger generations and the youth. We'd been planning to bring it to some of the junior high schools, but unfortunately with COVID and lockdown, we were constantly in and out of isolation. So we weren't able to do that this year, but we're hoping for next year. We're hoping next year we'll be able to bring it back to the younger schools and get them started earlier than high school. So yeah, that's
Amazing.
kind of what's going on now.
That's awesome. We're going to share some information later, Brooke, like in a follow-up sort of email or something, but Turf in Toronto has created this really amazing program for bringing rugby to like grade school kids. It's about like kind of a sport for all program, but the team at Turf, and they have a whole website and a toolkit and everything. So we'll share that with everybody because it's a pretty great way to bring rugby to grade schools. Because yeah, like a lot of people don't get introduced till high school. So very cool.
That's
Very cool.
Awesome.
Awesome,
Perfect.
thank you.
No problem.
Brianna, did you figure out your microphone? Where did Brianna go? Did we lose her? Do you guys see Brianna? So maybe she is reloading. So maybe we'll just keep going and then hopefully later she will be able to get on here and share. Okay, so we've got New Brunswick. Dave.
Hi, folks. We good?
Yeah, go ahead. We can hear you.
Okay. Yeah. I guess I'm the old man of the mountain here. I've been involved in the sport for 50 plus years. I remember when the Gilbert ball was leather, and when it rained, it got twice the size, and you probably break a foot kicking it. But I played at the club side, high school side, Eastern Canadian side. Had a couple tryouts with Canada, didn't work out, but anyway. And I've coached at the 15s and 7s for a lot of years, from St. John, New Brunswick, and primarily involved with the Trojans Rugby Club. And the good thing about it this year, we're on the verge of putting in a clubhouse, so we're pretty excited about that. And I'm also a director of a thing we call East Coast Games, and we bring in about 2,000 athletes every year. And Rugby Sevens is part of it. Coaching wise, I've got level 3, and you name it, I've pretty well done it with rugby, and I'm pretty excited to sort of step back into this again. I've retired and I took about 4 years off after coaching for about 45 years. So yeah, this looks like a really nice adventure.
Super excited to have you. Thank you. Malcolm, are you here this evening, Malcolm?
Hi, yes, I
There you
am.
are. Welcome.
Yeah, a little bit about me. I'm 17. I've been on the rugby pitch since I was about 3 years old. Ever since then, I've been playing. I'm from Fredericton, so I've been playing with the Fredericton Loyalists there. This past year, I played for the provincial team for the first time. I currently am located in close near to St. John, playing with my local high school here. I've been doing some coaching we have a mini rugby club here and back home, and whenever I can, I like to help out with that. And yeah, this year we're one of our head coaches from the summers going around the province, going to all sorts of different middle schools and elementary schools, introducing the sport to them. And so I've been helping out with that in the local region here too.
Amazing. Very cool. Yeah, I'm blown away by the number of young people and the amount of stuff you're all doing. Is very inspiring. Segoya, are you?
Hi, yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, welcome.
Hello, perfect. So I just want to say thank you for this amazing opportunity. It's amazing. First, my name is Segoya Augustine. I'm from Elsipogtog First Nations, New Brunswick. It hasn't even been a year since I started playing rugby, but I'm on a lot of what Malcolm's doing, rookie rugby. So I've kind of turned quite a bit of heads for my first year. So I've been exposing a lot of rugby towards my community. So we have a local like middle school, K to 8 down here, and they've invited me to the school there a couple of times to help introduce rugby to sport. I'm a sort of like a coach at my high school as well to help introduce more rugby there. And I'm also with the Moncton Black Tide, where we kicked Loyalists for the provincials. Yeah, that's about it, really. Yeah, perfect.
Amazing. Super exciting. Well, we're really happy to have you.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so we're gonna go to Quebec. I'm also going to apologize for all the people in Quebec that I was going to try and speak in French, but it would have not been comprehensible. So feel free to speak in French or English. I understand French. It's just if I tried to speak it, maybe for the next time. So we'll start off with Gabriel.
Hi, yeah, so my name's Gabriel. I started playing rugby when I was 18. My background's actually more in rugby league. So I got to play out in England and Wales to do that. So following COVID, I transitioned more into coaching. Came back to Bishop's University where I played for my undergrad. And I was coaching the women's team as a defense coach. So had the fun experience of having to play Galou twice last fall. A lot of fun. Thanks, Galou. But overall, so I'm transitioning more into coaching. I've now moved back to Gatineau in the Ottawa area for work. So my job's really more about increasing girls participation in rugby.
Amazing. Thank you. Galou, do you want to go next?
Sure. First of all, thank you for this opportunity. It's a very cool thing, and I'm excited to see what's next. My name is Galou. I play for the national senior women's team, and I play for Rugby Quebec and for the town of Mont-Royal in Montreal. So I'm from Montreal, and rugby, as you said before, it's an amazing sport, especially for women. You get to express yourself, to take up space, and you don't have to be delicate, and that was fun. That has been fun for me, at least. And so I know I've had the opportunity to travel with Rugby Canada, provincially, to travel across Canada and to play in Europe just for fun, which is something that I'm proud to have experienced. And I know that I wouldn't be where I am today without coaches who believed in me, who gave me tutors, or my club fundraising for me. And as we know, the participation rate of women in sports is fairly low. And in Quebec, half of the girls who play high school level drop out. And when we talk about young girls from Indigenous communities, less than a fourth of the girls play in high school level. So, and because of the historical context that we have in Canada and in Quebec, I created the PAC, which is an initiative that started last year. And the goal of the PAC is to diversify the face of rugby in Quebec. So what we did last year was that we held a PAC day, so a day of rugby. So we invited girls from a range, from the young girls to 18 years old, and they, no matter what their level was or experience, they had experience to play rugby with invited coaches. They watched Rugby Canada practice, so the Quebec girls who had a practice in front of the girls while they were having lunch. And then at the end of the day, we had me and another rugby player from Laval University in Quebec City. We just talked about what our journey has been with rugby. So that was a big thing because of a bunch of events, notably the death of George Floyd, and all the Black Lives Matter movement. I wanted to focus on positivity, and I wanted to empower young girls instead of focusing on darker sides. So this year we're trying to grow bigger, create a bigger event, and get more people involved. So we're looking at donations. We're also looking at mentors, because I have a young team, 100% women, who are studying and trying to have an impact on our community. So that's the PAC and my background a bit.
We're super excited to have you. And you have Karen Paquin, who was a champion for us last year, who we love, who is a big supporter of growing women's rugby in Canada. Super, super inspiring national level athlete. So, and when we had you on the list and we were, Karen was like, oh my God, He's amazing. So we were like, no, we know. Anyhow, thank you. Julian, I think had to work this evening. I'm not sure. I don't think he's here. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure he was not able to tell. I also think Isabel said she wasn't able to come. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. So we'll keep going. Okay, so Ontario, we have a few folks to get through. Part of the rationale, just so you're wondering like how we picked in the provinces, Ontario has the biggest rugby population. We kind of look at the provincial sport governing bodies and the number of registered players. And so we try to pick proportionally. So I don't want people to feel like it's Ontario centric. It's mostly just that the number it's like the number of registered players by province is kind of how we, we tried to kind of like go. So we're going to start off with, I think Ben is here. Ben, are you here?
Hi, yeah, I'm here.
You caused me a lot of confusion, Ben, because you go by Winston also.
Yeah.
We were very confused if you were the same person, but I figured out you are.
Because I share the same name with my dad and my dad's dad, so.
Got it. Okay.
So, hi, my name's Ben. I am playing for the Barbs. I'm 17. I started when I was around 11, I think. Around 11 or 12. My home team is the Aurora Barbarians, but I've gotten the opportunity to play with a bunch of other clubs like the Reds and the Misfits, which is sort of like an international team. And I've gotten the opportunity to train with the Blues as well, which is also like the provincial team. And I also got the opportunity to train with the Iroquois Roots rugby team, which is an Indigenous team, which I thought was a really cool experience. And right now I'm also the captain of my high school team. So yeah, that's it.
Amazing. Did you go to Brantford? Did you go to Six Nations to play, or did they come to Toronto?
No, I went there.
Awesome. Yeah, Mel and Megan are good friends of ours, and they were a part of the Champions program last year. So we go out to visit them sometimes. Yeah, super cool. Graham, is Graham here?
Yeah, I'm here. Hi, everybody. So really nice to meet all of you. I'm from Toronto. I'm 17 right now, and I've actually played with Ben at Ontario a few times. So yeah, I'm at UCC right now in high school, so I'm actually captain of that team. I've been playing with the Toronto Nomads for a club for a few years now. I've been playing rugby for about 6 years now, and I just started playing Ontario 2 years ago, right after COVID started. And since then, I've been really fortunate to have the opportunity to play with the Junior Arrows Academy at the elite level, and now I'm actually heading to a Canada camp for the last tryout next week. So yeah, I'm really involved in rugby. So yeah, super excited to help bring it to the community. It's super important to me, and I've had some of the best moments of my life playing. So I just really want to help other people find those moments as well.
Amazing. Thank you, Graham. All right, Griffin, are you there? Is Griffin here? Oh no, I hope he's not here, eh? I wonder if it's okay. Well, Griffin will I guess we'll just move on then. But Griffin, actually, I'm just going to share a little bit about Griffin, because Griffin is also really passionate about neurodiversity in rugby. So he is a young guy from Toronto who has ADHD, and he and his mom are really big on spreading the value of bringing rugby to kids with all kids, right? So he's super excited to be a part of this year. I think Griffin's maybe 13 or 14. He might be the youngest person in our team. Yeah, I think if he was here, he would probably share that. He's very open about it and is super passionate about sharing that and bringing rugby to other kids. Okay, so we're going to keep going in Ontario. Lori. I'm pretty sure Lori's here. I saw her before.
I'm here.
Hey.
So my name is Lori. I played rugby for 7 years and have since switched to coaching for the last 8 or 9 years. So I'm the head coach for Toronto Mighty York, which is Canada's oldest inclusive rugby team, which means we're a safe space for queer identifying people to play sports. And then over the last year, I have co-founded a new rugby team called the Rainbow Griffins, who specifically aim to make rugby accessible to BIPOC marginalized individuals. And we have also, Muddy York and the Rainbow Griffins have also become certified as mixed ability clubs, which means that anybody, regardless of physical or mental ability, rugby is a safe space for you to be in. So my goal is really to just bring rugby to as many communities as possible and to make rugby as safe a space as possible for folks to participate in.
Amazing. Thank you, Lori. We're super excited to have you. Karen. I saw Karen before. I know she's there. She's up in the corner. Yeah. Hi, Karen.
Hi, everyone. I am very honored to be in this group of incredible people. So thank you so much for selecting me. I'm from Toronto, but I'm currently in Georgetown, just sort of northwest of Toronto. I am not a player, but I'm a writer. And and I'm also a passionate fan. So I started writing about the game. And for the last dozen or so years, I've run the Rugby United account on Twitter. It's an international movement connecting players, but more than that, connecting fans and grassroots, growing the grassroots rugby. So it's international, and I have one of the strongest accounts at almost 6,000 followers, which is actually a great platform to forward the arrows, which I'm extremely passionate about, because in my mind, that's the pathway to strengthening rugby across the country. Writing about rugby and getting the great opportunity to be press at Rugby Canada events and games. I was very honored to write for Last Word on Sports, and I've written for Rugby Canada themselves, Rugby America's North, and I've written over 100 pieces. Now, I worked for a long time with Adelhard's online magazine called The Scrum. That's where I initially connected with Robin, and believed so much in what Robin was doing that I just started throwing myself behind anything grassroots. I just feel that it's so much the pathway. And I'm now working on the Rugby Hive. I do the writing, and I concentrate on players, current players, retired players, but not just that, like the grassroots and anybody sort of growing the game from the bottom up. And I big proponent of the hashtag growing the game. And I also run the Toronto Arrows fan group on Facebook, and I cheer most loudly. I think anybody would say
you and Kim can compete.
And this year I'll be doing communications for the Canadian Classics Women.
Amazing. So I think Karen is a great example of, being a builder in rugby is not just about being a player or a coach. I think, and I also think it's super interesting. I don't know, sort of a random fact, but Wikipedia is mostly written by men. And there's actually like a feminist movement to sort of have more articles on Wikipedia written by women. I also think it's interesting that Iceland is one of the most gender equal countries in the world, and the women there were literate from the beginning. So the stories are written by men and women. And so I think it's super cool to have Karen, because it's not just about being a player or a coach, right? It's like the people who are writing the stories, it's the perspective of those people as well. So we're super excited to have you, Karen.
Thank you.
Jordan, are you here? It's Jordan here. Jordan might not be here. I think, oh no, you know what? Jordan is traveling he has his last practice before traveling to the Tropical Sevens, or he's traveling to a tournament. So he was not able to come tonight. Oops, hang on a second. What did I do there? How do I go back? There we go. Okay, Tech.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, I'm trying to, because I'm in a big hall here. It's awesome that, thanks for having me. And it seems like in rugby, everybody's kind of somehow tied together. somewhere or somehow. Already we talk about flexibility, about tour and stuff like that. Originally, I'm from Indonesia. I was born there. Learned about rugby. I'm actually in Oshawa, so about 45 minutes from east of Toronto. Originally from Indonesia. I learned about rugby when I was in university in Australia. And then when I migrate here, I joined Oshawa Vikings. I've been there for almost 23 years. Been well with the club. I've been pretty much doing everything and anything from VP and also players. Only the last 6-7 years been playing all boys, and the last couple of years my club started that mixed ability rugby as well. So I've been part of that. Also, what else? Coordinating events, managing some special events. Actually, also help organizing some rugby tours. So my the mixed ability team were invited to Ireland this June to participate in like an international mixed ability sports. They have like a rugby World Cup every couple of years. So my team are going there this coming June. So we are preparing for that. Also for the old boys, I organized. I kind of founded a team of 2 clubs, Oshawa and Coburg, and a few players from our region to. Sorry, give me 1 second. There's a bell. They always come. Give me 1 second. I don't know if you can hear. There's a big announcement. So anyway, so I founded that a few years ago as a part to for all boys to tour different places. Our plan next year is going to Ireland, to Dublin and Carrickfergus. Before this year, I was coaching junior boys, and then with my club having the mixed ability, so I kind of transitioned to mixed ability now, helping there. But I think my biggest contribution, really, as you can see on the picture, is photography. So one of the things I've done most of the time is really take photos, and especially with a lot of concussion I have in the games, I've kind of been pick and choose of what games I would participate in. So and spend most of the time taking photos. So I take most of my club's photos from junior teams to seniors. Doom College, actually Iroquois Roosevelt as well. Actually, I'm going there. I'm going to New York tomorrow for the Battle of the Border to take their photos. The first ever women teams games, and then also obviously Toronto Arrows, Wolfpack, and also in the off season pick up any sports that I can take a photo of. Yeah, so that's kind of pretty much what I've been involved in. And I think just to add to what Laurie said about mixed ability is that it's a new things that coming into Canada, and right now there's only a few clubs in Ontario that's been participating in. I think last year we had the All East Cup that I think about 4 or 5 clubs that were been starting that, and that with that in our tour we have pretty much out of the 40 players we have people from like the one that already played for Canada to I have a lady that's actually legally blind and she participated in the sport as well. That's it.
That's amazing. Yeah. And thank you for mentioning the mixed abilities. That's something that I'm not sure how much it's rolling out in other provinces in Canada, but Ontario is really pushing it. And it's amazing. I mean, the idea is that basically based on the rules and the design of the game, that any group of people could play together regardless of physical or intellectual ability. So I think it's a pretty exciting thing for rugby to have and for it to be growing in Canada. So that's something, we can also share more information with everybody about in case it's of interest to bring to your club. And then obviously Laurie and Tech would be kind of experts on how to get your club sort of like certified to be able to offer it. Okay, next up, Harry. Harry, are you here? Oh, hang on a second. Scott dropped out for a second. Okay, let's see here. Are you there, Harry? I think maybe, is your microphone turned off?
No, it's in. We can hear me?
Oh, now I can hear you. Yep.
Oh, okay, cool. My name is Harry. I'm 18 years old. I'm from Congo. I come to Canada here in 2017. So right now, it's gonna be my fifth year here in Canada. I start playing rugby back home in Congo and export over here in Canada. Right now I gonna do my 10 years playing rugby. So I'm pretty old or that stuff. I play with Toronto Buccaneers and Rugby Ontario Blues. I met a lot of people and a lot of coaches. I'm still happy to play rugby and promote rugby everywhere I go, even in my school. And yeah.
Amazing. Thank you. Sorry, did you say you're 17, Harry?
18.
Wow. Okay. Amazing. Okay. Next up is Nick. So Nick, I'll let you go. Nick is from the Centaurs, which is actually Monty and Lexi. So my dad and Monty Heald, it's their home club. And Nick is kind of like, I'm just gonna toot your horn a little bit for a second here, Nick. I've known Nick since we went to Mac together, but I always say to Kim, Nick, how much Monty would be so proud of what you're doing at Centaurs, because you're just totally carrying on the legacy that he started there. So anyhow, I'll stop talking and let you introduce yourself.
No, thank you so much. Yes, that's correct. So I'm the president of the Burlington Centaurs Club. And like you said, I was very lucky to have known Monty. He was one of our founders, and as well as your dad, Lexi. They were great guys for the sport of rugby, especially in Burlington. Monty, he was a huge role model for me, and I'm happy to continue on with his legacy. This year being a Women's World Cup, we'll be doing a fundraiser for our home opener on June 4th. With all the proceeds, we'll be going back to the Monty Heald Fund to directly support the women's rugby. So we're very passionate about that and try to keep that going for him all the time. I'm actually at the club right now. Obviously, it's a Thursday night, so practice is just getting back up and started outdoors. So it's great to have that going after kind of the ups and downs of COVID the last 2 years. But we've really been focusing a lot on the youth. Like that's our big plan with the rugby club. Like we're doing very well at the senior men's. Our women's program is growing as well. We have a junior academy program that runs throughout the winter, and they actually go on tours every year between the boys and the girls. So they get to tour around and really experience what rugby has to offer. But like I said, we've really been focusing on our juniors and our minis and growing that program. We have rookie rugby that we're trying to get out. We have some partners now with the school boards, which is great. And they've been really helping us. We found that we couldn't get our foot in the door. So now it's been actually amazing having their support, getting rugby into the schools, into the physical education programs. And we've been working really closely with the board and just had a rookie rugby kind of like virtual meeting. And we're going to have our intern go into the schools and just kind of really promote the sport at grassroots, get as many kids to touch a rugby ball so they will continue on with it once they get into high school into the club. We also run a summer camp through the summer. So where it's kind of rugby focused, but it's multi-sport. We do a little bit of exploration of nature, just something again that we can provide to the community. And as well as what you touched on, Lee, is regarding the mixed abilities. So we run mixed abilities on Friday evenings where everyone's welcome to come out. We did a pilot project last year and it worked really well. So we're looking to continue to do that this season and continue to grow the sport. So it's been absolutely fantastic. And I think this Gilbert Champions is an amazing initiative and very happy to be a part of it. So thank you.
Thanks, Nick. We're super, super excited to have you. Okay, so we're going to move over to Saskatchewan. Carissa, is Carissa here? I also think Carissa is somebody who had a work commitment or school commitment.
Carissa has a Vikes commitment tonight.
That was it. Yeah. Okay.
University, yeah.
That's right. Curtis. Welcome.
Hi, my name's thanks for including me in this.
Well,
based out of Moose
you
Jaw.
were actually nominated, so that's you maybe
Yeah.
maybe you didn't know that you were.
I was surprised to learn that I had been accepted to this group about a week ago, and
So
yeah,
Curtis was nominated by Trevor Daw, and it actually caused us a little confusion as well because we were trying to figure out if it was Curtis or Trevor who had been chosen based on the description, and then we realized it was Trevor who had nominated Curtis because Curtis was also a little confused when we reached out to him.
yeah. So I played rugby in high school back in the late 90s, and then really wasn't able, just work and time just never worked out for me to get back to it until the fall of 2017, where I watched a rookie rugby demonstration at one of the Rough Rider games, and then got in touch with Sask Rugby from there, and they went, hey, we'd love to have someone in Moose Jaw to run a mini rugby program just to get that grassroots presence back in a bunch of our communities in the province. Fast forward 5 years of running a program, minus the one in 2020 where nothing ran. We received enough grant funding from our event last summer to supply 9 rookie rugby kits to the schools, 9 of 13 schools in the city here. So they've all got gym equipment to play rugby with their kids, flag rugby. The school boards are going to get their teachers trained in how to actually run and organize the game in school. So that's really exciting for us. Beyond that, our small little community mini rugby thing has rekindled the passion for rugby in Moose Jaw here, and the team that kind of floundered and folded in 2013. Oh, hi, big dog. Oh, geez.
You can't see the dog.
That's the babysitting dog. We've got a men's team, a women's team, and this spring a junior team, like a junior program running in the high schools, trying to get high school kids playing rugby again. So that's like, as far as community building, I'm super excited that that's where we've come in the last 4 years of playing. So
yeah, that's
my involvement there has just kind of been that I wanted to see rugby to a point where my kids could play when they got to high school, right? With kids in grade 3, 4, and 5, I'm pretty excited that we're well on our way there, and they'll have the opportunity to play this fantastic sport.
Well, I think the thing that's super cool about that is it's kind of an example where like you bring some rookie rugby back to a community, and it's not just always coming from the older people down, right? Sometimes it's like the kids bring the rugby balls home and they're talking about, and their parents kind of go, oh yeah, like I played a while ago. And I think more than ever right now is so important because there's been high school kids who've just missed out on rugby, right? Like if you think about it, if you've been in high school right now where a lot of kids would have gotten introduced to rugby, there's kind of this gap in grade 10. And so I think that's something that everybody here, like that was something we had in the top of our mind as well, right? Is it's like really getting rugby back into high schools. And I think sports in general, right, is so good for community and mental health and confidence building. And so, yeah, it's amazing to see what you've been able to do with your community.
I'm excited. Trevor's been a huge help. His little girl was one of our first mini rugby kids, and he came on board. He got a lot of the other adults involved, and the community's just kind of grown from there. So yeah, exactly like you're saying. I'm very excited to see where we go in the future.
Yeah, it's amazing. Okay, Alex, are you here?
Hi everyone, my name's Alex. I'm from Regina, Saskatchewan, so not too far from Moose Jaw. I've been playing rugby now for almost 15 years since I was 11. I started playing in the States, and then I moved to Canada, and I played on Sask teams. I currently play with Regina Rage team, which I captain. I played in university at the University of Saskatchewan. So when I was done rugby, I still play, but I'm done playing a lot. I just wanted to keep getting involved. I was one of the first rookie rugby coordinators back in 2014 when I came back for Sask Rugby as a summer student. I currently sit on the Sask Rugby board of directors as a VP of marketing. I sit on the development committee here in Regina. And I am assistant coach at the University of Regina. So I want to dip my toes into every part of rugby and keep growing the game. I fell in love with it young and I still love it now. So I just want to see that passion and love for everyone else that's in the rugby community. So I just want to say thank you for letting me be a part of this program. I'm excited to learn more and bring it back to everyone here in Regina, Saskatchewan, Moose Jaw, and all of Sask Rugby.
Amazing. Thank you, Alex. That was a great intro. Okay, we're going to go to Alberta. So Joseph and Saforsa, are you guys here? I'm not sure if they are.
Yeah.
Okay, you are. Awesome. Awesome. Hi.
Hey, can you see me?
Yeah, there you are. So Joseph and Saforsa are a team, like our group champions together. So maybe do you guys want to just introduce yourselves and tell a little bit about the program that you're running?
Yeah, for sure. My name's first of all, thanks for having us. My name's Joseph Alifo, originally from the Fiji Islands. Moved over to Canada 15 years ago. Played rugby when I was 8. Then I lived in Victoria for 2 years before I decided to move to Fort McMurray, Alberta. You know, if you're gonna move across the globe, you might as well move right into the interior of Canada. So that's what I did. And I've been up here for, I want to say 13 years now. 6 years ago, 7 years ago, I was like, man, I think I should start a mini program. So then I just started with my kids and Sephora's kids too at the same time. And then it just slowly built over the years. So we're slowly building the program and hopefully, just keeps going. So yeah, thanks for having us.
Amazing. Saforsa, do you want to just say hi too?
Hi, my name's Saforsa O'Neill. Joe's my cousin, and yeah, he started this program. It was great. I started playing when I was 21, played every other sport that I could. And I remember asking my mom, oh, can I play rugby? And she's like, girls don't play rugby. So that made me be like, oh, now I'm going to play rugby. So yeah, love playing it. Up here, we compete with hockey and every other sport. So we're totally just trying to grow our program and make every concession. You can't make it, we'll refund you. We just I'm sure everybody here, you love rugby and you just want kids to play it. And so we've applied for funding just so we can just be the cheapest people around. And, people use it as babysitting and we'll take it. We'll take your kids, we'll get them out running, we'll get them active. So yeah, it's great. Thanks for having us both. This group wouldn't be here without Joe. So he's the heart of our program. And yeah, we have a great mini team up here in Fort Mac. So thanks.
Amazing. Thank you. Okay, up next we have Scott. Scott's driving. Are you actually driving, Scott?
It's hands-free and I'm not going to look at the screen.
Okay, please don't look. Okay.
Oh, no, I'm just kidding. So my name is Scott Godfrey. I work in Calgary and I'm a program coordinator with the Autism Asperger's Friendship Society of Calgary. And for about 5 years, we've run an adapted and inclusive program for our members. I oversee the active life part. So from ball hockey came rugby, from rugby came lacrosse, from lacrosse came climbing, from climbing came boxing. And we try to allow our members basically to not put them in a fishbowl, but allow them access to other communities and try and create other communities. I started playing rugby when I was 8 and I'm 58 now. And I haven't played since Sadie was born and she's 22. However, I actually met with Calgary Rugby Union last week and we're hoping to get a 7-week program running in June. It'd go June, July, or May to July on Saturday mornings. We've worked with the University of Calgary Dino women's rugby team. And I've already emailed Miles and we're going to talk. So get a hold of Griffin. And I think it's just exciting that there are people around that I have my oldest daughter was in a wheelchair and she loved rugby. So we just throw the ball around in the backyard. I have a son who is on the spectrum And, he acknowledges that he actually doesn't play rugby, but works in this field and really wants other people of neurodiverse places in the world to have a chance to play a game that they should. I kind of take the position that you reverse engineer it. A lot of this started, we finished hockey season, guys. I was driving guys to games. Someone mentioned there was a game in Edmonton, so I drove 8 guys up in a van, or 7 guys up in a van. And after the game, one of my ambassadors who's getting his level 1 lacrosse this year, and he's allowed me to use this story, Bryce. Bryce is on the spectrum. Bryce is 6'6", and after the game, he was standing by the railing. And it just happened one of the guys was signing a flag and a T-shirt for this group of high school kids. And I said, hey, I'm not that guy, but he came over and talked to Bryce for a while. I took a picture and sent it to Rugby Canada with Connor Keys. Connor has a sister on the spectrum, and of all the people in the stadium, Bryce got to talk to the guy with the sister on the spectrum. So I just actually emailed him today. He's very excited. Not sure where he is, but he and Eric Howard are huge friends of ours. I spent more time looking at Eric Howard and Connor on a screen during the shutdown than I really want to admit. But we played jackpot with all the guys. It got to the point that, how he's like, while we're playing and stuff. The guy, he's and Howard are not well. They're not well. And I say that in the best way possible because they're friends, and Eric's going to be in Edmonton. He's going to come down and do some of our programs. And Connor, I will connect him with everybody there because he's the most amazing, quiet ambassador who just gets out there and hangs out with people. So that's me.
Super cool. And so, this is just a funny story so when everybody submitted their sizing, I think, was it you, Scott, that said, I asked for short sizing and you were like, I'm 58. I don't really wear shorts anymore. I don't really want rugby shorts. Can I have track pants?
Yeah, John, you're not lying, because really, I was saying that, what size short would I be? And my wife looked and goes, oh no.
So yeah, we won't be sending you rugby shorts. Okay, next up, Sophia. Welcome.
Hello. My name is Sophia. I am a current player with the University of Calgary Dinos. I'm taking my Bachelor of Kinesiology there, and I'm majoring in coaching. I'm very passionate about rugby and growing it in the community. I am in the process of getting my level 2 World Rugby certification. And I coach at my old high school, trying to get the program started back up again, getting girls back into rugby. I worked with Rugby Alberta last summer and rookie rugby, and got to experience kind of the grassroots levels there and building the back up from COVID. In the summer times, I play with the Calgary Irish Club, and I'm also on their executive board. Again, trying to recruit more women, trying to build back up the program to what it used to be. Playing wise, I've played with the Alberta Wolfpack. I'm going next week to Florida for Tropical Sevens with the Celtic Barbarians. And then in 3 weeks' time, I will be going to Nicaragua with the Dog River Howlers for the second time. And I've done this trip before, and we bring a bunch of donations and we work with the communities over there, which it's very eye-opening just how different the lifestyle is over there. And we donate a bunch of rugby supplies, school supplies, medical supplies, and then we play against their teams, and we also host a bunch of clinics with them. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Amazing. Super cool. There's some more things in there I didn't know about you, Sophia. Very cool. Okay, so we're going to go to British Columbia. Asia, are you here?
Can I say just one thing about Sophia? That that Nicaragua tournament that you're down there with the Howlers. I helped start that at my university when I was at Brock as an academic independent study to help develop a tournament down there, and that's been ongoing now since then.
No
Super stoked that
way.
you're part of that. Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you for doing that. It's been, I love that trip.
No, the Howlers are awesome. Like I said earlier, that's how me and Robin got connected. So glad to hear there's another Howler out there in the group too.
Amazing. Thanks, Tim. Okay, Asia, are you here?
I think Asia's working. She was just on field with rookie rugby with us this afternoon, but I think she got her serving job today.
Okay, amazing. And I think Bella also was only able to maybe hop on for the first little bit of the call. I know she also had to get to a job. She couldn't change her shift. Maxine, are you here?
Yes, I am.
Hi.
Hi, thanks for having me. It's nice to meet all of you. My name is Maxine O'Leary. I'm from Vancouver Island, BC, and I started playing rugby in grade 8 at Cowichan Secondary. So my home club is Cowichan. I also played for North Vancouver Island in BC. And then last August, I moved to Montreal to study communication studies and play at Concordia University. So just finished my first season here and just recently started working as a marketing and communications coordinator for McDowell Rugby with Robin and the Rugby Hive of Karen. And I'm really happy to see how fast the game is growing, especially in the Cowichan Valley, and to be a small part of that as well. So I'm always online trying to promote the game and really want to help the next generation of athletes get into rugby early so that they can take advantage of all the amazing opportunities and things that the sport has to offer. I'm also hoping to get involved in mixed ability rugby coaching opportunities at the McKay Center here in Montreal, which is a school for children and young adults that offers rehabilitation services. So hoping to introduce those kids to rugby and to show them that no matter who you are, you can be involved in the sport and there's a spot in the rugby community for everyone. So yeah, thank you.
Amazing. Thank you, Maxine. Okay, Natalie. I think Natalie is here. Or wait, it was Natalie? Are you here, Natalie? No. Okay, we'll go Peter.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me. Sorry. Yeah, I'm 38, father of 2. I live in Cranbrook, British Columbia, which is about 4 hours west of Calgary. So hello to my Alberta friends. I am the president of the Rocky Mountain Rogues Rugby Club. We play in the BC Summer Leagues and we're the defending Saratoga Cup champions. So we've got a small but passionate group of people that live in the community. And my goal as the new president is to build a minis rugby program to help basically build a pipeline to our high school level where I help coach the local Cranbrook team as well. So that's just the Reader's Digest version about myself, and I'm very excited to be a champion.
Amazing. Thank you, Peter. Oh, you know what? We're going to go back one because I think, Brianna, do you want to see, you didn't get a chance to talk because your mic, do you want to see if you can get it to work on your phone?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Perfect. Okay, so my name is Brianna Hughes and I'm from Prince Edward Island. And I actually played with Brooke Smith, who's also from PEI. And just last summer with the U17 PEI rugby team, we went to St. John, New Brunswick, and we got bronze, which was very exciting. I started rugby just last year because of COVID. I was going to start in grade 10, but I started in grade 11. And I'm from a very small school of 130 students, so I actually traveled to another school to play rugby and play with them, which is a little weird representing another school, but it's great. They welcome me in with open arms, and I love it there. It's great. We just actually started first outdoor practice with snow on the ground, so it's pretty cold today. And I just really want to promote rugby. I grew up with skates and a hockey stick in my hand, and I was really the only girl in hockey. And now seeing all these girls play rugby, I just want to help like women get into sports and like even welcome rugby into the small community and just promote it more because it's such a great sport. You have a well-knit community, like you feel welcome no matter like what size you are. I'm a small girl. You need small, you need bigger people, you need everyone. It's just such a good community to be in. And yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm so glad you got your microphone to work. Welcome. We're super happy to have you. So I think that's everybody has had a chance to introduce themselves who's here tonight. Like I said, we'll share this with everybody afterwards, so the people who weren't able to make it. But I think, I hope you all feel that from hearing everybody share that it's a pretty incredible group of people across the country who are doing amazing things to grow the game. And so really, we're just going to go over next kind of like what's going to happen next. But honestly, the biggest part of this is that we really want to support all of you in the projects you're working on. And so it's the kind of thing, like it's a sharing of information. If people hear about a grant where you can get, I think there's going to be a lot of grants in the next little while to get kids back into sports. I know, Canadian Tire has a Jumpstart grant and stuff. So these are the kind of things, like if you hear about things and you want to share them with the group, we're going to start a WhatsApp group. And if people have questions, and we'll just figure out a way to try and keep it as organized as possible, so it's not inundating people's like sort of inboxes and things. But really, I think there's going to be a lot of great ways we can support each other. And then, for us as a company, we are, we're pretty small in Canada. I always find it funny that people think we're much bigger than we are. It's literally just, a warehouse in Burlington and, a small group of people. But we really want to support everyone. So, we're not always, money is not something we can really do, but maybe we can make an introduction. Maybe we've heard about something, we can offer a suggestion. I think, some of the people here, like I know, for example, Nick has a really well-run rugby club. Like if you want resources on how to run a really financially well-run club so that you have money for minors programs and you have money for things. And I know some other people here have some experiences applying for grants. Those are things I think we can all like really support you with. Or if you have tournaments coming up, and I would say if there's places you're going, if you're going to go to a community and bring a program, reach out to us and let us know, because we might be able to give you like kind of some, just like little prizes to give away or something to bring with you. We might not be able to do tons and tons of that, but we can do a bit of it. And certainly like the champions last year, some of the people went and brought some programs to some kids at an Indigenous community. And we were able to send some stuff to go, just to have something to leave, right? Even if it's just a ball or two and maybe some boot bags or something, just to get kids excited. I know for a big thing right now, a lot of teenage girls are dropping out of sports. The pandemic has been terrible for that. So I know BC Rugby is doing a big Girls Can Rugby push. And I think, we can all be doing that as well in terms of like where we are really encouraging girls there's always a drop off for teenage girls, but it's been really bad because of the pandemic. So those are all the kind of things, that I want to just sort of get the conversation going for everybody. So yeah, the last thing we're going to do, just kind of go over next steps. So and then if anyone has any questions also, we're working on pulling the kits together and getting the t-shirts made and everything. And I'm pretty sure everybody has submitted sizing, but we're still just checking. If there isn't anyone, we'll follow up. But I'm pretty sure everybody's submitted their clothing sizing. We're going to send everybody an affiliate code. So if you did want to buy anything at the Gilbert website, we're just going to send you like a discount code to use if you did want to buy anything else, but we'll send you out some kit. We're going to launch the champions. So we wanted you all to meet each other first before we started announcing the champions, right? So it's still sort of top secret. What we're going to do is we're going to get the website, like now that everyone's met each other, we're going to load a roster on the website. I'm going to send you guys all an email to fill out a bio, because I know people submitted information about themselves, but I want you to think about if this is your bio and you think people in Canada are going to go and look at this, what do you want to share with them? What do you want to, shout out that you're doing? So if there's any website links or anything you want to share, I'll send, and I think it's kind of, you put your name and maybe we'll do like the clubs you're associated with, but just a bit of a bio about you and what you're pushing in rugby. So that'll probably get sent out tomorrow or Monday. If everyone can fill those out as quickly as possible, then we're going to build a roster on our website, and then we're going to launch it, send it out to everybody. I would love it if everybody wanted to share their player card that we're making, like these photos that we shared, on your social media. And if you want to put a link that you're a champion, just because then it kind of drives people to go and look at that page on our website and learn about the different things that everybody's up to. And then over the course of the year, like in the past, we've done like all 30 sort of people like on Instagram right away, but I feel like what I'd rather do is sort of roll it out over the course of the season, a few people a week, and try to connect it to things that are happening in the rugby community and also things that are happening in the world. So if there's definitely something you want to shout out, or a particular project that's happening around, like, for example, Pride or something, if you want to do a piece around Pride, that's coming up in June, we could share your bio on our Instagram and social channels then, and put your information and a bit of bio and anything you're doing around Pride, right? That's just kind of an example of something off the top of my head that's coming up. And then the rest of it's really kind of up to you guys. If you want to do Instagram takeovers, you're going to a tournament. If you guys are going to be somewhere and meet up, you may meet up with other champions, because you're going to be places where you're at similar tournaments, because hopefully we are staying not locked down. Hopefully we're all going to be getting to do lots of rugby and lots of traveling. And then anything else, if you have ideas of things you'd like to share. I mean, one of the things we'd love to do this year for clubs is offer some kind of workshops on best practices for how to run a great minis program, or how to run like a fiscally responsible club where you have money for programs. So if anybody, when I say these things, or you have ideas in your head, just email us, and we'll put all that. You can email me back and Shauna. And we're going to kind of be the organizers of all of that. And I think we'll probably, I know you guys are all really busy, and to take up an hour and a half, I know that's a lot of time for everybody, but I think if we tried to do this maybe once a month or something, over the next, sort of over the rugby season, and then obviously in the fall, it'll probably quiet down a bit. And then, people can, if you can attend, great. If you're not able to attend, we'll record them and share them with everybody afterwards. Yeah, and then it's really just how we can share your story, right? So think about your bio and what you're going to put in it, and we'll send you it'll be like a Google form like we've done before. And I think that's it. Does anybody have any questions, or anything they want to share, anything they want to know?
Leah, I just wanted to touch on something that we discussed this morning on our call, as far as just being a champion is, there comes responsibility with being an ambassador of any brand, and specifically to our brand, but you're an ambassador for yourself and obviously your club and country. And, so definitely be mindful of, what you put out there, what you share in your story, what you do in your personal life is your personal life. And we all like to tip a few back after a game and stuff, but just, as an ambassador, you're putting yourself out there. And when you put yourself out there, I just want to, put yourself in the best light. That's the opportunity. And I had a conversation with a national team athlete boy a few weeks ago, not so much as I've coached him since he was a kid, but, and I won't definitely say names, and he's a good boy, but he was putting some stuff out there, and he's not one of our ambassadors, but just more of a national team alumni. I just said, that's, what you're doing offline and celebrating, that's great, but definitely be mindful of what you're putting out there, as an ambassador, as somebody that's representing, now again, not just Gilbert Canada, of course, but representing yourself and your programs. I'm sure a number of you, most of you is likely redundant, but what your friends are putting out there is not necessarily what we can put out there, and you're going to impact a number of people in your region and your area and your sport in a positive way. And we just want to make sure, we're setting you up for success and expectation wise out of the gates. And just listening to you all is so inspiring to hear all these stories. And we're just scratching the surface in a minute or two, but it just made me think, when I was a national team athlete, pardon my French, but I didn't have a pot to piss in. I didn't have enough dimes on my first international tour to buy a sandwich on a 17-hour layover. And so when I came back after my first season on the World Series, I went around my small town, car dealerships, everything, and I didn't know how to put myself out there to get sponsorships. Well, I wasn't even able to raise $50 for myself. And so for you all to now leverage this opportunity for, whether it's yourself personally, for those up and coming athletes that are going on tours or need to get to the next training session, or those other ambassadors that are raising money for other programs and stuff. I think this is such a great opportunity for you all to better yourselves and your programs and just the image of rugby. And to the comment from Fort McMurray, we are in competition with every other sport. And that's one thing I try and say, like rugby can be tribal in certain regions of the country. And for me, I really try and be neutral. I'm not even loyal to my own company or my own programs. I wear a different hat every day of the week, and I just try and grow the game. And that's the best part about this is we've got people from all over the world, which is truly a representation of Canada, all walks of life from across Canada, proper Canada, and working together, it makes you neutral, makes you part of a bigger solution. And that's just the last thing I wanted to say. And again, congratulations to you all. I'm looking forward to being a part of this as far as seeing your journeys unfold and following your successes on and off the field.
Thanks, Robin. Yeah, I just wanted to quickly add to Robin's comment. This is something that I will say, and I can see, Scott, don't worry, I see your hand up. I'm coming to you next. But something I just wanted to say is that I honestly cannot, I was saying this to our team, like, I don't even really know what this is. Like this Champions program, it's turning into something that I don't even know what it is, because we really are a small group of people in Canada. And it's been incredible to me to see how a rugby ball opens, like the Gilbert name, it opens every door. And just like, again, we actually don't have a huge social media presence. I mean, Robin's Rugby Academy has more people than our Canadian little Instagram and our Facebook and stuff, but the number of people who applied, like each of you and people who are, your peers and the excitement that people feel about being a part of this, like honestly, the responses, you guys all emailed back so fast. It was like, I was like a kid in a candy store to see everybody's replies. And so that's something that I was saying to the team, it's like, this is turning into something that I don't even know what it is, right? It's like kind of this magic collective power. And I just think it's super exciting. And again, like I said, this is not something that other Gilbert distributors in the world do. It's just us in Canada. And it's my dream would be that we could take this and show the rest of the world what we're doing. And then maybe they do something like this, right? Because I think it's an incredible knock-on effect. So so super, super excited. Scott, did you have a question? He's still driving. It's making me so nervous. We can't.
It's just as much. I think it already got touched on. I competed for Canada in 2 other sports. Actually, I never capped for Canada in rugby. I played in France for 2 years. But it's really, I'm really excited by not just the diversity, but the age ranges of people that, I think it can be fun. It allows everyone to get new ideas from new people. And a lot of our 80% of the programs that I develop are from our members or from families that say, hey, have you ever done this? So then we just make it happen. And I think being able to network and have a WhatsApp, Sophia and I have already talked because the University of Calgary Dinos women's team was huge in getting our program established. So, we'll already be talking. And when you mentioned Jumpstart, we got a very significant grant from Jumpstart. And because of the adapted and inclusive sport group that I'm involved in Alberta, got to know Brad Ellard at Jumpstart. So for anybody in Alberta, we definitely need to talk because they want to give money away.
Just to explain to how Jumpstart works. So if we are selling our products through Canadian Tire and FGL Sports, there's actually like every vendor has to pay a fee. And what they do is they collect money on behalf of the vendors that sell sporting goods to give back to sports in Canada. And so anybody who's doing anything sort of connected to BIPOC, diversity, mixed abilities, like anybody that's bringing rugby to new communities will likely be a great fit for some support from Jumpstart. So
absolutely. Yeah. The one that is great is as long as you show, I talked to Kim, I got the grant and I called Kim, it's like, it's a spending spree. But it was the most exciting thing because, got some pennies, got some cones, got some kicking tees, got some balls. And it is accessible and it is money that's there. And I just think it's exciting to see the ideas and the people and the differences that we can all the resources that we can all share. I'm just excited and really glad for the opportunity.
Awesome. Thanks.
That's awesome.
Tech, did you have a question or a comment?
Oh, just addition about the funding. Another good opportunity to do is Trillium Fund in Ontario.
Yes.
I don't know what the other province has, but in Ontario, I know our club has been able to, over the years, been able to secure some fund from Trillium Fund. Like I'm not saying a small amount, like I'm talking about a large amount of money to. I know of the first one we did was to fix our clubhouse, and then I think the second one was to do something else. But I know there, like right now, there's a big pool of money right now that they're trying to distribute. So a lot of them, I was reading of it in the fall last year. They're to do with, again, if you have a clubhouse that you need to fix, especially to make it accessible, especially to do things that make more people coming in. You should be able to look into it as well.
So maybe what we can do is I'll work on getting like a Google Doc started, and maybe people could just like, I'll share it with everyone. And then if you hear about anything or you have any links to anything, that'll probably take me till next week to get it up, but people could just add stuff in there. And then who knows, maybe we have enough information and some expertise that we could even look at trying to do another meetup just about trying to, if anyone's interested in looking for grants, because it's a super important thing. And I think it's one of those things a lot of people don't think about, but it's definitely there. Yeah. Donald, did you have a question or a comment?
Yeah, question. This past year, Rugby Canada had a grant thing to put up posts, and we applied for that, but unfortunately we didn't get it. So they said apply 2022. So we have, I guess, can give us pointers on what they want to hear. Because on the west coast of Newfoundland, there's no post. Everything is in St. John's. So if we can get posts at the local high school here, that will make a huge difference.
Yeah, so maybe then if anybody has any kind of expertise in applying for grants, maybe could you connect with Donald and just give him some, maybe you guys, just if someone else has experience with that, you could kind of connect afterwards. Sound good? Okay, well, I'm mindful that I don't know where everyone else is, but it's almost 9 o'clock. It's 8:45 here, and I've got a kid over here watching an iPad who's I need to get home and get her to bed. But thanks so much, everybody, for joining. I really appreciate everyone's time and sharing. And like I said, we'll follow up in next week with a request. Actually, I'm going to try and send out the bio request tomorrow, so people have time over the weekend just to put together some thoughts. And like I said, we'll get the page up on the website, and we'll share with you all your sort of player cards to post. And if you want to put it in your social media handles that you're an athlete ambassador with Gilbert, we would love that. Yeah, and we'll look forward to meeting up again and hearing more about your programs and what we can do to support them. And also look out for your kids. They'll probably take a couple weeks. They'll probably start going out in a couple weeks. Okay. Yeah, we're working on them. We're working on them. Okay, amazing. Thanks, guys. Everybody have a great evening.
Thank you.
Meet everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good night.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
See ya.
Thank you.
Joseph's still there. There we go.
Well,
okay. How'd that go?
I think it went really well. Really well. Yeah. Good job.
Bunch of fucking rock. Oh, I shouldn't swear because I'm recording it. I should stop recording.
It's all right. Malika sorted out.
But total rock stars, eh?
Wow, I wasn't expecting the deep dive or like how much they have going on.
It's amazing. It's
like
insane.
the genuine rugby community. Like this is where these Rugby Canada fuckers have no